The Flipped Classroom Part 2, March 5th, 2012. And where we left off on the last one was at what the flipped classroom is. We talked about what it's not, and so what it is here. Basically, it means to increase that interaction between the teacher and the student. And so you take a typical classroom, a high school classroom, for example, teacher lecturing up in front for whatever time, and then a little bit of work time at the end, and those questions and the interaction really only happens either the following day or the homework. You give it as homework, and there's really no interaction, especially when that real learning time takes place, of that practice time, or that whatever you're doing, project time. And so it really gives you that time to work with students rather than try to answer all those questions at the beginning of the hour or on your own time. It's also an environment where really the students, as they're working along and as they're going along, and if you have a series of videos laid out, they're going to take responsibility for their own learning. They're going to basically start working at their own pace. Some are going to go ahead, some are going to maybe fall behind a little bit. And so really having expectations of your students up front is very important in the full flipped classroom. And really, the flipped classroom, you're not standing in front. You shouldn't be lecturing up in front of the classroom, but you're basically guiding students along in the learning process and really teaching the kids how to learn. And it's also really a blending of different types of learning styles. As you incorporate video, you incorporate reading, you incorporate the visual, the hearing, you incorporate the touch as people are working on activities. And so you really engulf a large array of learning styles. And really it's about differentiation as you're going through and you're differentiating your instruction. Some students will love it, some students won't like it, and so it's finding that balance of doing some things that the students like, and also finding that what maybe if those students don't like it, why don't they like it, and how can we do it to make it a little more engaging for those that don't like it. And really, it takes away this whole absences issue, especially if you have it hosted somewhere where easy access. Assignments or whatever you're doing can be turned in electronically or whatever. It really takes away this idea of being absent, because the student can watch those lectures at home, watch the lesson at home, and really get it. And really, the teacher becomes that real facilitator of learning. The class is archived online somewhere, and so people can go back and look. Maybe if you have a concept in Chapter 4 that you need to go back and take a look at what was in Chapter 2, you can do that easily without much hassle. Students are usually engaged in their learning. They really if they take it to heart, and it's personalized learning, which is the last part here where it's personalized education. They should hopefully be engaged as they're really empowers them to learn. It empowers them to want to learn. And as educators, we're teaching content, definitely, but we're also teaching lifelong skills. And one of those lifelong skills is how to be a learner and how to effectively and efficiently learn on your own. And so, you look at the high school level with a full flipped classroom, something that can be done fairly easily. Now, again, it takes that culture change of, this is what's out there, this is how we're going to do things, and laying that groundwork out. And so, like the remainder of the year, what I would suggest doing is really starting to lay that groundwork, do a little bit here, a little bit there, create a video here, create a video there, and really, try it, experiment with it, and see how the students respond. And again, don't be surprised if they don't watch it, because it is a culture change. It's a change in the way you run your classroom. It's a transformation of the way you run your classroom. It can't be just a substitute. You can't just flip the two things around, homework in school and lecture at home, and really expect much of a change. You just can't come in someday and say, hey, this is what we're going to do. You really have to think about working the students into it, and really your expectations and your rules, things like that up front need to be there. You really, this last part, this tip here, teaching the kids how to watch the videos is very important. If you want them to take notes while doing watching the videos, if you want them to do an assignment while watching videos. And really the question becomes, okay, what do you do with the kid that doesn't watch the video at home or doesn't have internet access? And the great thing about most of our schools now is they're either wireless or they have some capabilities before or after school, lunch, whatever, to get that opportunity to watch the videos. Put it on YouTube. You can access it on cell phone, access it on iPad. You can keep that file and put that file, share it with them in their Google Docs or something along that line. Save it to an iPad, send it home with them. Save it to a netbook, save it to something, and send it home with that student. But don't let those things be barriers in your classroom. And if you think they are going to be barriers, the one thing that you should do is survey your students as to how many of them have access to the internet during the evening. And I think you'll be surprised at how many actually do. And then taking a look at those that don't, and then finding those answers to figuring out how to get them access, whether it's public library, finding a way to record videos and put them on a device for that person so they don't have to access them online. But really, if we just keep coming up with barrier after barrier after barrier of why this won't work, then we're really not accomplishing anything, because we need to start looking at how do we jump over those hurdles instead of just letting those hurdles stand in our way. And so the flipped classroom is one of those examples of, you hear the excuses all the time. What if, what if, what if, what if, what if? And really, there are ways to get over these hurdles, and really it just takes just a little bit of work. And the cool thing about it is, once you create these videos, they're there. They're there. If they're on YouTube, they're going to be there for a long time. I'm not going to say forever, but they're going to be there a long time. And really, you can use them next year. And so you've done the majority of the work this year. Next year, those videos are there. You either improve on them, or you can spend more time on activities, creating a learning, really work on your learning environment, maybe work on different ways that you can utilize that time in the classroom. But research ends up showing that actually behavior issues go down in the flipped classroom due to the fact that the teacher is available there to walk around and to facilitate that learning. And so that's kind of the flipped classroom in a nutshell. I know it wasn't too terribly engaging as you sat and listened to me go through some different things and click through some screens, but for the most part, really find what works best for you and just run with it and go with it. Do little by little. Try it out, experiment. Your kids, I think, will like you for it. So that's the webinar for today. And so any questions, feel free to email me here at Merved.